Hello, you are watching Prime Pulse News USA headline. One crisis at the CDC. Top officials resign in protest against political interference. The United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is facing a major crisis. 4 senior officials have suddenly resigned in what they describe as a direct protest against growing political interference inside the agency. The officials who stepped down are Deborah Howery, Chief Medical Officer, Dimitra Daskalakis, an infectious disease expert, Daniel Jernigan, Head of Respiratory and Epidemic Response, and Jennifer Layden, who oversaw public health security. These leaders have served for years, playing vital roles in America's fight against epidemics and public health challenges. But in a joint statement, they accused political pressure of undermining science and public safety. They specifically pointed to the recent removal of CDC Director Susan Manares, calling it, quote, unacceptable and anti-science. Their statement read, handing science and public health over to politics is the same as pushing the American people into danger. Experts warn that this wave of resignations could have serious consequences. If political interference continues, hospitals may weaken, the CDC could fail to respond effectively to future outbreaks, and the United States risks losing its credibility as a global leader in public health. So far, the White House has not released an official response, but opposition Democrats say the CDC is being turned into a political tool, calling the move dangerous for future generations. Public concern is also rising. On social media, health workers and citizens are voicing alarm, with one user writing, "You cannot run public health with politics. Lives are at stake." This mass resignation is unprecedented in the history of the CDC. It highlights a deep political crisis at the heart of America's public health system. Now, the world is watching closely to see how this conflict unfolds. Headline: To Trump's global tariffs. Face legal blow, appeals court rules, major portions unconstitutional. A federal appeals court has delivered a major setback to former President Donald Trump's global tariff policy. The court ruled that most of the tariffs imposed by the Trump administration were unlawful, saying they violated the United States Constitution. At the heart of the decision is the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEPA. Judges determined that Trump misused the law to impose unilateral tariffs, far beyond what the act allows. While the tariffs have been declared illegal, the court said they will remain in place until October 14th. That extension gives Trump's legal team time to appeal to the Supreme Court. Political analysts say the ruling is a serious legal obstacle to Trump's push for expanded executive power. For years, he used tariffs as part of his America First agenda, straining trade ties even with U.S. allies. Now the court has drawn a clear line. Unilateral trade decisions cannot override constitutional limits. The impact could be significant. If the Supreme Court upholds the ruling, future presidents may find it far harder to impose sweeping tariffs without congressional approval. That could force the United States to rely more heavily on diplomacy and negotiation in global trade disputes. Reaction has been divided. Democrats welcomed the ruling, calling Trump's actions an abuse of executive authority that damaged international relations. Republicans, however, warned the decision could weaken the U.S. economy and benefit foreign competitors. For now, all eyes are on the Supreme Court. Its decision will determine not just the future of Trump's tariffs, but also the balance of power between the presidency and the Constitution itself. Trump declares, "I've never felt better in my life." Former President and current Republican candidate Donald Trump is once again at the center of political debate. Amid weeks of speculation about his health, Trump took to social media, declaring, quote, "I've never felt better in my life." The statement comes after growing concerns about his age and fitness for another term in office. At 79 years old, Trump has faced questions about whether he can handle the responsibilities of the presidency. Politically, the message appears aimed at energizing his base. Supporters say it proves he's still strong enough to lead. Critics argue it's an attempt to downplay serious health concerns. Either way, Trump's health has now become a central issue in the 2025 election race. Trump's executive order mandating voter ID faces major legal test. Former President and current Republican candidate Donald Trump has ignited a political firestorm. In a sweeping executive order, Trump declared that voter ID will be mandatory in all future U.S. elections. Under the order, No exceptions will be allowed, except for those who are severely ill or serving in the military. But legal experts warn the order may not stand. According to the Constitution, authority over election laws lies with the states and with Congress, not with the president. That means Trump's directive faces serious challenges in federal court. Reactions have been swift and divided. Republicans argue the order protects the integrity of American elections. Democrats call it outright voter suppression, claiming it will hit the poor and minority communities the hardest. Analysts say the stakes are high. If the order is upheld, it could bring historic change to the American voting system. If struck down, it could deal a major blow to Trump's political strategy. For now, Trump's mandate, no vote without ID, has sparked one of the most heated battles in U.S. politics. The final decision will rest with the courts, and it may define the future of American democracy. You're watching Prime Pulse News USA. Stay with us and don't forget to subscribe, because your source for what's trending, what's changing, and what's next in America.